Hey everyone, this is Sam Kimsey. I'm a history major at Bluefield College, and the purpose of this short video is to give history students a better understanding of test taking and history classes, particularly with today's topic of identification and essay questions. So to begin with, the key to taking tests successfully is what I call pre-test work. What is pre-test work? Pre-test work are things like going to class, taking organized notes, reading, and studying. Now, the scope of this video is too small for me to cover these things in detail. The point that I'm trying to emphasize, though, is I'm not going to be able to give you a trick that somehow enables you to take tests successfully while skipping these foundational elements. Don't shortchange yourself by skipping these parts. So let's look at the specific identification and essay questions. So identification or short answer questions are where a professor gives you a word or a phrase and asks you to identify it and explain it in a short paragraph, short answer. So you want to keep in mind the questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. These questions you probably learned in elementary school. However, I've subdivided them into three categories that hopefully will help you remember this easily: identity, context, and significance. With any answer, you need to answer identity, who or what something is; context, when and where it happened; and significance, why does it matter? What is this person or event remembered for? Significance is the single biggest aspect where you can either make the most mistakes by not putting enough information, or you can earn the most points by putting an adequate answer. Don't skip out on significance. So when answering identification questions and studying for them, you should go through your review sheet and your notes to make sure that you remember identity, context, and significance for all of the important terms, names, figures, events, dates, and such in your review sheet and in your notes. You can practice saying these answers out loud, or you can practice writing out identity, context, and significance for each one, just for practice. Moving on to the essay question. With an essay question, what I consider the single biggest important aspect is having an outline. You need an outline. An outline is a written plan of where you're going to write before you start writing, so that you don't just ooze on for several paragraphs without saying anything definite. If you can, write an outline before the test. If you know what the topic is going to be, if you're prepared to write, if you know what the topic is, by all means, write an outline beforehand. Otherwise, take a few minutes to quickly write an outline during the test. It will be very valuable, and you will not regret it having done it. In an outline, I recommend 3 points. It is always a great place to go. You can almost always find 3 reasons why, 3 examples of, 3 consequences of, 3 things to remember, or so on. Always be looking for 3 points for your outlines and your essays on these essay questions. Now, in your outline, you need to write a topic sentence or thesis. A topic sentence or thesis is the sentence that summarizes what the rest of your essay is about. Pick your 3 points and put them in one sentence. That will be your topic sentence or your thesis. You cannot skip this step. Then, write one paragraph for each point and write a topic sentence for each paragraph. An example is like this. The United States was changed by World War II in several main ways. 3 of them are, and then you would pick 3 reasons and explain them. And then paragraph 1, the topic sentence would be, the first way World War II changed the United States was the first reason. And that would be the same thing that you would do with the second paragraph and the third paragraph. And then maybe you would have a conclusion that briefly ties those back together into 1 or 2 sentences. So, with outlines and organization as the key foundation for essay questions, here are a few other tips. Use examples in your essays. Don't just say something the professor said or the textbook said. Don't just give an abstract statement that you don't understand. Demonstrate that your understanding of the concepts with examples. So instead of saying Ronald Reagan was a conservative, say something like Ronald Reagan was a conservative and thus he opposed abortion, fought EPA regulations, and supported increased funding for the military, and so on. These are examples that demonstrate the abstract statement of him being a conservative. Lastly, I recommend you proofread when you're finished writing your essay. You usually have more time than you think. Don't skip this step because you're rushing for time. Don't panic. Take the extra time necessary to proofread your essay. It's better for you to catch your grammatical errors and your spelling errors and your words and phrasing that doesn't make sense before your professor does and gives you a bad grade for it. Proofreading can make a substantial difference in your grade. So in summary, take organized notes in class. Use your notes as your review sheet. For the identity, context, and significance, you need to know who or what, when and where, and why does it matter. For the outlines, you need to definitely have a thesis with 3 points, and then write paragraphs for each of those points, sum it up maybe at the end, and within those essays, give examples and proofread. Thank you all for listening. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck in your history classes.